Hey guys, I hope you all can hear me. I am at a random apartment complex in Los Angeles because I'm about to do some work. This is a last minute emergency that came up, and so I've got to take care of some things with a client. So I'm gonna have to make things a little bit quick tonight, and so I want to talk for a minute about family systems and what your role was. Often we develop a role within our family system, and I'm talking about the family system you had prior to the age of 16 years old. So I want you to not think about what's going on now. I want you to think about your youth, because there are patterns that we are repeating from that period of our lives. So think about, what were your roles during that time? Were you the healer? Were you the saver? Were you the bad child, the problem? Were you the smart one? The next question, number 2, why were you that role? Who in your family specifically needed you to be in that role? What happens is we become that role, and then because our family works well with us being in that role, then they encourage it in ways and enable it. And sometimes what happens is that role gets to a place where it's no longer healthy, but we keep going back into that cycle. So who in your family needed you to be in that role? And why did they need you to be in that role? And what did it serve in that role? All right. And the last question is, what we do is we repeat these cycles in other stages of our life. So we find other people in our life over and over and over and over again that fill those other roles so that we can stay in our role when we're unhealthy, when we're healthy. So for example, I was the saver. I was the placater in my family to resolve the conflicts, to try to solve the problems. And so I constantly attract people with problems. And look here, I'm a therapist. And so in order for me to begin to heal that part of myself, I have to find people who don't have problems for me to fix. And then what I have to process for myself is, how do I have a relationship with people who don't need me for something, who don't need me to fix something? How do I just be? How do I enjoy my time with them? So what happens is I have to shift who I become around people in order to attract people who are not needing me all of the time, if that makes sense. And what is really tricky is it's very uncomfortable at first when we shift. And then when we do shift and we start to heal and we start to behave differently, suddenly, because our role has changed, other people often don't know what to do about that. So we'll often get a lot of heat from other people in our life because they don't like the new you. Some of you who may have lost a lot of weight at some point in their life, I've talked to many people who've been able to see these incredible differences. People are like, you're overweight, you're fat, you need to lose weight, you need to get in shape. Suddenly they do that, and people seem to have a problem with it, and they actually get more criticism for being too skinny, or you're so worried about your diet and what you eat all the time. And they almost get negative feedback from the unhealthy people in their life who liked them in that role. So I want you guys to process that a little bit, how that's played out in your life, how it's repeating in your life now, and what some of the challenges have been there. And yeah.